Living for bread, son, so that every mouth can be fed. But I say, one more time I got to say, I get up in the morning slaving for bread, son, so that every mouth can be fed. Every time it's separated, and that's the end of our day. Your daddy says you shouldn't stay out late. Don't stay out late, baby. Good night. You shelter me from harm, keep me warm.
Yes, people, you're locked into aratradio.com. We have a great artist on the line. Please introduce yourself and let the listeners know all about who you are.
Yes, greetings. Bless up. This is Tyler Cranston here from the Jewelers.
Yeah, for real. So tell us a little bit about the band, how you guys started, how it all got set up.
Well, it's pretty much all out there, really. I was busking on the high streets for the best part of 15 years, playing pretty much ska and reggae, all old school stuff. My dad was one of the pioneer promoters back in the early 60s and sort of early 70s. He had a sound system called Savoy Sounds all over the southeast of London. And then, he sort of met my mum through the clubs he was running, and I had 3 kids. We were born into it. We didn't know any different. So we were going to school, singing anything from Desmond Dekker to Prince Buster to Toots and the Maytals, and expecting everyone else in my class to know the words of the songs. They didn't. So we didn't have much pop.
Yeah.
We just had pretty much, old school ska and reggae from my mum and dad's youth, and we loved it. And it stayed with us. And so my brother was a musician, and he just took it to the streets and recorded some backing tracks and called for his little brother, and we just started to get a little duo show together of singing the old school songs, and then got into writing and doing our own stuff. So it's kind of expanded from there.
Wow. You have to big up your mum and dad for picking those kind of tunes and those music, for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. And then it is an art as well, because make no mistake about it, because you can't write music or play music, and so you can't identify music. Mum and dad identify a tune, and that to me is a skill set.
Definitely.
I've gone to many a place, even a ska and reggae gig or a club or bar or something, and the DJ's playing music, and it's like, it's not, he's not lifting the crowd, he's not getting people, up dancing, and, so to recognise good music is a skill set, for sure.
Definitely. So what is it like busking and then taking it to a large crowd? Has it helped you?
Yeah, massively. I mean, I think it's a brilliant way to sort of hone your skills and, standing on the high street, because, no one's paid to see you. They're all on the high street pretty much to go shopping, or, they're going to and from somewhere. So you've got to be good to, get their attention and to get them to stay and buy a CD or give some money, or if you give a leaflet out, come and see us at a gig. So it's pretty much started all from there. But it's without it, I definitely wouldn't be where I am now, because it's given me the confidence to, if you can go and do it on a high street, and to successfully do it for as long as we did, standing on a stage in front of, at the beginning, probably a couple of hundred people, to where we are now, which is up to sort of like 10,000 odd people. Yeah. It's probably the hardest thing, is just down on the high street. But in 15 years, it just seemed like, that was like drinking water to us. It was like, I didn't know any different than just standing on the high street and singing.
Yeah, for real.
So it's
when you're playing ska and reggae, did you ever have any adverse reactions from the people that when you were growing up in the classroom, or even now?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think the thing is with it, it's the most unheralded music on the planet, and ska is kind of sort of it's. I love what you said, ska, by the way, as well. I could tell the Jamaican coming out as opposed to the very English ska.
No.
But yeah, it's no, because it's simple music, and I keep trying to tell everybody the best things in general are the most simple things. We always go back to simplicity. Simplicity is classic. Classic means it's going to stand the test of time. People are going to be playing music in 10, 15 years because it's basic. Yeah. I think my mum read something out to me ages ago in the back of a Daily Mail supplement magazine, that Paul McCartney says, "I don't write songs that the postman can't whistle."
Okay.
And where everyone thinks of Paul McCartney, we all know he's written some big tunes in his time, and I think that's so right. It's like, don't overcomplicate things. Don't go down too many of a deep road with your message or what it is you're trying to say. People want music for many things, but predominantly it's to uplift your spirits and be able to identify with the words and the melody that you're giving. And that is the most important thing. But you'd be surprised at how many artists just forget that and go down a different road. And so to me, that's what ska and reggae is about. That's what I love about it. I know there's lots of different messages still in it, and there are lots of artists out there that are going today. But the trouble is, in my opinion, is that I can listen and like them, but they're not going to have the worldwide appeal, because a lot of the people all over the world can't understand what they're saying, and to me, they don't make good enough effort in trying to connect with people all over the world. So I love it because I'm a big fan of Jamaican music.
Yeah.
But that's why we have to pat Bob Marley on the back, a lot more than what we do, because not only was he a fantastic singer, fantastic writer, but predominantly you could hear what he said. He touched the world, and that to me is where reggae is a little bit lost at the minute. The new artists of today that I listen to and I love, but I watched. I think, well, you're already putting yourself in a niche, because I'm a big fan of reggae music and I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's not anything, I'm mixed race myself. There's nothing racist in there whatsoever. This is what Bob Marley did. He took, obviously his dad was white, his mum was black, but, he still could have gone very deep into Rastafarian, and preaching. I mean, he did, but not enough that he put the world off. If you're going to touch someone who lives in Greece, you're going to touch someone who lives in India, then you've got to sort of find a fine line. You can't just keep going down the whole road of, I'm Jamaican, I'm from Trenchtown, this is how we speak. It's like, well, that's fine, but you're not going to have the success of Bob. And then I find a lot of those people just start to chase the money a little bit, and all of a sudden, they're not, the music's not as pure as it was. But to me, back in the heyday of the 60s and the 70s, when, it was really its early stages and it's the first wave of it, that to me was when the best singers, the best songwriting, the most catchy melodies were about, and that's kind of what me and my brother have done. And because there's a massive niche for it, a person on the high street who's never heard of it before is going to be able to relate to it, because in 10 seconds they can hum it. So it's but anyway.
So yourselves, you've had no industry backing, and you reached top 30, top 40. How did that come about?
Just through hard work, determination, getting the public on your side. We've done it at a time when social media is sort of like, it's just getting stronger and stronger. And, and I guess people like, you still need managers and agents and record companies, and not saying you don't need them, but they're not as they used to be. They're not the big players that they are. People can make a living and make a name and sell out gigs, by having, a strong following on social media. And that's kind of, we're like the one of the first waves, especially in ska and reggae, to have done that without the help of industry backing. And it wasn't a case of us not wanting it. We wanted it, but it just didn't appear. And I wasn't going to sit down on my backside and go and wallow in my own self-pity. I was like, okay, there's not one in here. Well, I'm just going to have to go and make my own fortune. I believe in what I've got, and they've got this fan base that are willing to follow us. So, hopefully all well and good. We're supposed to be playing Wembley Arena on the 28th of November this year. 2 years ago, I was running on a high street with a bucket.
Wow.
So, and there's no industry backing. So that's, that's social media for you. So I'm still on a high street in Croydon. Someone filmed me singing a couple of songs, and next thing I know, it blew up and went viral. It's 13.8 million views, and one video. And then there's other videos that had, similar amounts. And I was just standing on the high street, just, trying to make a living. But I think because we're in a world at the moment of reality TV and stuff like that, it was real for people. I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, this guy's going to do a video footage and he's going to go and get all these views. I was sitting there thinking, oh, yeah, I've got my bills to pay. I've got some gigs tickets to sell, and I better sell some CDs. The last thing on my mind was thinking, how did I look on the video? But, there I was in tracksuit bottoms, baseball cap and a sweatshirt, and then a month later it was just gone completely viral.
But you know what? I think that's just reality. Like, you look like the normal everyday person. Do you know what I mean? So I think that relates more.
That's it. That is totally. I think that we're in a really good place, because everyone's open. There's so many different ways now you can listen to music. Back in the days where new music was Top of the Pops, or it was, other shows that were on TV or on radio, breaking them in. You just go on Spotify now and you go, you like that, you might like this. And, you're getting introduced to new music all the time. People are getting right into YouTube, and, you got all the YouTubers now, and it's just sort of like, it's out there. So people aren't being governors to say, this is cool and this isn't cool. We're able to make our own mind at what is cool. Yeah. It doesn't make a difference if it's not played on radio. In fact, sometimes it's not played on radio, it's even cooler. Yeah. Because we know that radio is all about getting the listeners in. When you get mainstream, what they're interested in is making the money to have the amount of listeners, and the big wigs can pay the big adverts, which pay their bills. So it's not about the music. Yeah. So I think, stuff like YouTube and Spotify and all those different music platforms are incredibly important now, because it allows everybody to kind of make their own decision of what they want to listen to, as opposed to, this is cool. If you think you're cool, you should be listening to this. Everyone's sort of got a bit more diverse, and you come to our gigs. I've seen like goths at our gigs, from skateboarders to old grannies to Asian families to obviously Rastas and rude boys and skinheads and postmen and fire brigade. You name it. Every race, colour, creed, religion. I've seen at our gigs. Wow. And I just think it all comes down to one simple thing. It's like, we're overcomplicating it. Music's music, and it doesn't. What is it that we play? Well, it is ska and reggae, but we are a band. And I mean, and predominantly with the Jamaican rhythm and blues influence, but that is it. And there's nothing else out there doing like what we're doing. And I wish there was, because it influenced me. But unfortunately, half the people that influence me are dead. Yeah. I want to look around the charts and go, I'm going to go and see this person in concert because he's going to inspire me. Well, I can't count one hand how many people that are alive that inspire me. Mm. Because if you sit and watch the greats, if you watch Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Toots Hibbert, and Sam Cooke, and Marvin Gaye, and Ray Charles, and the list goes on and on and on. There's no one alive that even touches any of them, and they're all around at roughly the same sort of time. That sort of 60s to the 80s, sort of 20 years. So I've, as far as I'm concerned, the gods taught me how to sing and know everything else. And I'm not going to watch people now that I don't think there's anyone godly around at the minute that inspires me. So I'm still watching old footage of Bob and, Toots. And I mean, Toots, actually, having said that, is still alive and doing his thing. But I prefer him, Toots Hibbert, back in the day a little bit more than what he's doing now. But I'm desperately wanting to be inspired. But if it's not there, I just have to keep digging back into the archives and,
So, do you like the sound of Chronix and Jan9 and those kind of?
I do. I mean, Chronix definitely. I think him and Protege are probably the two biggies at the moment. But if I was to choose one out of the three, I'd probably put Taurus Riley above personally, because I think he's a better singer than all of them. At the end of the day, he's singing. Okay. Chronix is a brilliant songwriter. I really love, his vibe and everything else. But, already, no doubt, the world is putting him in the world of a legend. And I'm like, wait a minute, he's still in his 20s, 30s, and we're calling him legend. It's like, Bob was a legend. He had to hit off, he had to hit. Until those people do that, then we shouldn't be attaching that label to, the likes of Chronix and Protege. But I like them, but it's there's only like two or three at the moment that I could sort of count, and that I like a lot. Yeah. But and I'm desperately going through Spotify. I've got a lot of mates that chuck me. I've got to listen to this tune. And I'm playing them like within a minute. I'm like, it sounds a lot like Jesse Royal or something. I don't know. It's just I've heard the vibe already before. Okay. It's sort of like to me, singing is singing. Yeah. It isn't chanting. It isn't saying something that I can't understand. So if you can't understand it, I'm not going to enjoy it as much, and I can't relate to it. I'm not going to enjoy it as much. And melody's king. And a lot of the time, the trouble is, I think, with some of the new artists today, they put beats and grooves over it and forget the melody. And the beats and groove, it works. Yeah. But, then you go and stick on a Bob Marley tune, you're going to go, what's the difference? Yeah. You're going to go, Bob's got a message, wonderful melody. I can hear what he's saying. It's like, and is that too much to ask? I don't think it is. But so I do think that reggae is in a little bit of a, it's a copy, like in anything, it's a copycat kind of industry. Okay. But there's a lot of people that are, they come out, there's a Samurai Eye, and don't get me wrong, they've all got good songs, but I'm not ready to put legendary or amazing on them yet until they bust out 4 or 5 brilliant albums, and I haven't heard that yet. And I know that sounds very controversial and hard to say. I'm a fan,
Yeah.
But I'm harsh on myself, so I mean I can say that.
Yeah,
I don't
but
sit there and think I'm brilliant. I want them to be brilliant, because if they're brilliant, it's going to inspire me. We can make a bigger movement.
yeah.
The reggae world seems to be very caught up tripping over its own feet at the minute. I just like, go out and create some brilliant music, and don't keep directing at the reggae fans. Share it on the world.
Yeah.
That's what Bob did. He knew he was better than just playing to Rastafarians and playing to in Jamaica, and the music spread.
Yeah.
So, you know, that to me is what music is about.
For real. You know what?
So,
I'm happy that you're being honest. It's nice to hear some honesty. I like that.
well, I can't have it. It's all I know. So
Yeah.
music is my life, and it's like ska and reggae is what I brought up on. So I'm like, this is all I know.
For
So
real.
I come from a place of, even though it sounds like I'm talking certain nights down, I'm not. I'm from a place of being fans of it, but I'm like, I want to see more.
Yeah.
You know, Smile Jamaica by Chronic's brilliant song, but I'll probably, you know, there is a few more that I really like, but, you know, that doesn't make that artist to me an amazing. He's the best around,
Yeah.
but that I don't think that says a lot. You know, when you go back to the 60s and 70s, you have artists banging out tune after tune after tune every month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just going to go, bloody hell, that is, you know, not... And you know, and I've heard some stuff recently. I mean, jury's out on Sergei Protege. I know a lot of people like him, but a lot of people don't like him because he kind of chant raps as opposed to singing.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's just it's got there seems to be a little bit of a hip hop influence. I'm a hip hop fan in reggae because obviously Jamaica and America being so close to it, and they've always been influenced by America. But there is a little bit of a I can't help but think that how would Bob feel about the top artists in the reggae world around today and how he would think of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he'd be a bigger fan as we think he would be, because half of them aren't blimmin' singing. And his whole thing was that the Wailers, wailing. You know, as soon as they were babies, they came out into the world, and that was the whole thing of being called the Wailers. They were wailing.
Yeah.
You know, pain and coming out in their vocals. And it's like, I don't see anyone vocally in the Jamaican world laying on the line at the moment. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Chronic very much. I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing someone who's singing from their heart, from church, from pain, from years of slavery and everything. I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
I'm getting nice voice. It's great. I'm getting it, but I'm not. And I love that. I love guts, raw.
Yeah. Authentic.
You listen to Redemption song. I mean, it's obviously a classic, but it's raw.
Yeah, it is.
It's not smooth. It's not all. Do you know what I mean? That's why it stood the test of time. It's like now everyone puts it through all these filters through the when they're in the recording studio. They'll make sure they're getting all the little rough bits out, all smooth and pure and processed. It's like no, not for me.
Yeah,
I think that's probably what's helped us with the busking, because it's raw. Do you know what I mean? You could listen to quite a few off notes, but along the way you're getting bags of character, and I'll take that every day.
Yeah, definitely, for real. So tell us about the album, Palm Trees and 80 Degrees.
Palm Trees and 80 Degrees, so that debuted that was the first big album. That went to number 11 in the UK charts, and that just blew our minds. We didn't realise it was going to do as well as it was, and we were absolutely just gobsmacked, and the aim now is to go and get a top 10 album, because, you know, I do it obviously for myself, the fans, and people that buy in for the genre of music, but it's just a case of I want to do it more for the genre.
Definitely.
Because everywhere I go, people go, I love this. I'm like, well, there's something's not right here. Why do everyone seems to love it, yet it's not on radio? Yet there's on the top 40 there'll be 6 grime tunes, 20 indie tunes that sound all a bit similar. It's like, what? There's no room for this. Yeah. So we did put. I wrote a song called "Only When You're Around," and that was, I thought, probably had the most commercial appeal. And we had a plugger, and he got it onto Radio 2's playlist.
Wow.
So it's played on there about 4 or 5 times a day over a 3-week period, which is just fantastic. It just, I was more proud probably of hearing the genre being played on there, as opposed to, oh, that's me. I was like, yeah, it's about bloody time they played some proper new. Jamaican rhythm and blues or Jamaican influenced music. I really, that's how I saw it.
Wow. And
that's how I kind of see it, because it's like, I feel that it's been given, I've been given a role to try and push the music, onto the airwaves and into the homes. I've certainly done it into the home, because we've got a fan base is big enough now that, it's getting it played on radio, not trying to ska and reggae. It's just music.
Yeah.
Because ska and reggae's always had a bit of a bad rap when it comes to radio. Anyway, Bob Marley's had a load of problems getting on the UB40, even though they got load of airplay in the 80s. They were still ridiculed, and you know, it's Mickey Mouse music. It was a bit sort of like, you know, elevator music or party music, but not cool music.
Yeah.
So it's I'm just want to get this, and hopefully more artists can be inspired, more people can come through, and then when you stick the radio on, Radio 1 or Radio 2, 20% we listen to has got a skank to it. Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
You know what? You need to lock into my show. Everything's reggae.
Brilliant.
Yeah, right.
Brilliant. That's but it's the most uplifting. I would say I'm a music fan, so I can. There's lots of things that I love. It's not, I mean, ska and reggae is my first love.
Yeah.
But I love, you know, I love hip hop. I love all the crooners and stuff like that, and there's all different varieties, and I appreciate it all. I'm on Classic FM on downstairs constantly, and down, you know, with my dogs are. But I would absolutely say the number one music that gets the most love wherever I've gone is ska and reggae.
Definitely.
I can go loads of people and just go, yeah, Joe, this tune is a hip hop tune. I know, like, a few of my mates, and I go, nah, a bit heavy for me, I don't really like that. But I can play on ska and reggae, and then they was like, oh, and they might have even been to heavy metal, but there's something tribal, something deep rooted about ska and reggae. It's inoffensive.
Yeah.
It's upbeat, it's uplifting, it's happy, it reminds us of beaches, it reminds us of sunshine. And of course there's other different things, you can have a message in there, it's like what Bob did, but predominantly it's getting you to tap your feet, to move your head. It gets you up.
Yeah.
And if you can stick a wailing voice in there as well, a soulful voice, as well as you've got the rhythmical vibe of reggae moving you, and then a voice breaking your heart because you can hear it in his voice if he's happy or sad or
definitely.
I don't know what could be fine. Honestly, to me, that's really what the whole thing's about.
For real. What's next for you guys? I know you mentioned the arena. What else have you got coming up or in the pipeline?
Well, I mean, everyththing's on standby. Obviously, we had a fantastic year this year. We were playing the Rotterdam Festival in Benicassim over in Spain, the biggest reggae festival in Europe. We were headlining on that. On one of the stages. We were doing Glastonbury, headlining one of the stages this year, but that's obviously been cancelled. We're playing Wembley Arena, 28th of November. So everything is like, at the moment, I've just moved, so I've just been unpacking and getting on with that. But I'm one of these people that I always look forward. I don't tend to look sideways or backwards. Yeah. You know, I've got no control over the COVID-19 and when it all gets back up and running again, but I don't really think about it too much. It's out of my hands. I try and think about and do the things that I can, you know, that is in my hands and I can do something about. So basically it would have been more of the same, but I think what I'm looking at doing now is I'm going to start cracking on with another album, which is, I've already come up with this Voices from the Sun, which is, it's very much the same sort of thing, but just, you know, to me, everything is an improvement. Everything I do, I'm always looking to, you know, to better the last album, and, you know, I like what I did, but I also, I don't want to do that again. I want to make sure I do that better, and so that's kind of what the next is going to be another album, hopefully about next year.
Wow.
But it's just, you know, that's what the greats did. They just sort of banged the album out.
Yeah.
And they just didn't think, because they loved it. It was a passion. The more you do it, the better it becomes. And, you know, Bob Marley didn't write No Woman No Cry overnight. It probably took him about 5 albums before he got to that. So I want to know how many albums I can bang out till I get my No Woman No Cry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's so that to me. So it's like going to the gym. If you want to see results, you've got to do it regularly. So writing, if you want to get good results, be a good writer, be a good singer, you've got to do it regularly.
Yeah.
You can't do an album every 4 years.
Yeah.
They just stop things. You know what I mean? You just got to keep going. In actual fact, I don't think most artists that have got it in them probably don't stop.
Yeah.
They can't just go, finish my album, I'll just create a tap off. It doesn't switch off.
Yeah.
So it's something you just got to embrace, and, you know, and the more you do, the better it becomes. So.
For real. What would you say to young people coming up now that want to get into music or, you know, producing, anything to do with the creative side? What would you say to them as some advice?
Well, the first thing to do is say, don't look in front of you. Yeah. Don't look at who is in front of you now. Look at where they got their inspiration from. I think that's why I love the likes of Bob Marley, because Bob Marley was influenced by the likes of Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go and ask people and they'll go, Curtis Mayfield. Yeah. Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions is where Bob Marley and the Wailers got a lot of their inspiration, a lot of their harmonies from. And if you go back to them, now you're studying, I would think in the Greek world, Aristotle. These are the great...
1 minute remaining.
We're studying, who are you studying? Well, I'm studying Jesse Rogers. Like, well, I don't get that. Go deeper. Because all you're going to end up with is being sounding like Jesse Royal, or you're going to end up sounding like Samurai Eye, or there's anything wrong with those people. But if you really, but we've got to go. Reggae still isn't where it should be. Our leader was taken from us too soon. Bob Marley was taken from us. The reggae would be in a much bigger place if he survived, but he didn't.
Yeah.
There's no ever been anyone like him. So we need to carry that torch, and it isn't just keep copying each other and and just singing the same thing and the same vibe as a lot of those artists are. I think go right back to those grades.
Definitely.
To those people that felt pain, that knew melody, that didn't get, it's too much of a, people just tend to come up with a very basic rhythm or melody and then put a big fat groove over the top and they think it's a wicked tune. They go, well, it is a good tune, but it's not, it's not, you don't put on Could You Be Loved?
Was that I really enjoyed talking to you, some honesty, some appreciation, and I can really feel the love and the passion about music.
Thank you.
For real. And you know what?
No, it really is for me. It's all I know is like, if you opened up the bonnet of a car, I'd embarrass myself because I know nothing about it. If you ask me about loads of things that lots of men know about, I still know nothing about it. But when it comes to music, especially reggae, I'm all in.
Definitely.
Because this music that we love, it's come from a place of, it's soul music. Definitely. And if you aren't all in on soul music, I don't understand what you're in it for.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the thing to me. So if you can't be passionate about it, then find something you're passionate about. But this music, you can't not be passionate about it. You know, either through listening or creating.
Definitely.
And I think if you surround yourself with those people, then good things are going to come. If you my dad's got a lot of mates who are into it, and they're really passionate about it.
Yeah.
And the musicians I work with are passionate about it. You just off at each other. It's just brilliant. It's a great vibe.
Definitely. You know what? I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate.
No worries whatsoever. Sorry about the cut off as well.
Don't worry about that at all. For the listeners out there and everybody that's going to be locking in, what would you like to say to them? How can they get in touch with you if they need to, if they want to book you and things like that?
The best thing is obviously the social media platforms. We're on Spotify, The Jewelers, DJKAT, and then you've got obviously Instagram and Facebook. Facebook has got the most followers for us, and Instagram being the newest social media platform, one of them anyway. But with all the stuff's on there, but there tends to be a lot more active on Facebook. There's going to be loads of videos and stuff like that handed around. And so if you just look at all of those 2 and 3, and basically you haven't got to look far. You Google The Jewelers or Tiber, and there's quite a lot of history on there already, where we've started, where we've come from, and everything else. So, but the journey continues, and it's sort of like the other nice thing for us is that it's just us and the public. There is no one else involved in it, which is, to me, what I think makes it even more special, because this music is rebel music. We don't want someone coming in going, brilliant, I can see money signs looking at you. Like, it's like, no, it is as it should be. Artist, public.
Definitely.
And let them decide if they want to turn up, and not some A&R guy or record company who doesn't get it, because they don't get it. They're inspired mostly by money. It's like, so they don't, as far as they're concerned, ska and reggae has no place on radio. They've not heard ska and reggae on radio for ages, so why would they sign a ska and reggae band?
Definitely.
But if we can push forward, we might start inspiring some youngsters who sort of like, don't get me wrong, I love grime, I love all different sorts of music, but I'm glad to inspire young people bringing ska and reggae, and they're, how old they're, like 15, 16, 17, they want to play ska and reggae.
Yeah.
That to me is what it's about. So, but yeah, you can look us up on any of those things and keep posted. Have a little look. We're the same as every other band. We have loads of gigs booked this year, but we're already sort of like one eye on, thinking it may not happen. And it's going to be looking more like next year. But certainly Wembley Arena at the moment is still booked in 28th of November.
Okay.
Big ska and reggae event. So.
And of course, is there anything you would like to sing to the listeners out there before we go?
No. I had a drink last night. I was sitting to have a bit of a drink, and so I've had a bit of a long day, but I've tried to sort of get my head sorted, and the sun's beating down here, so I've got a bit of a headache as well.
No.
So I would have probably belted something out, but before you phoned, I don't know if it came across as being the phone, I was clearing my throat for the first. Anyway, for the first minute, but
definitely. Not to worry, man. You know
maybe
what?
next time, though.